There it is. Welcome, everybody, to another virtual 1 Million Cups-Bentonville session. We're so thankful to have you here with us this morning, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, whether you're taking the kids to school, getting ready for work, already behind your desk. We appreciate you for tuning in to 1 Million Cups. My name is Caleb. I am the Director of Marketing and Events at Startup Junkie. And also a proud 1 Million Cups organizer. I've got a guest with me today, so if she barks, apologize. We'll kind of keep her quiet. For those of you who are not familiar with 1 Million Cups, I'll give you the spiel. It was created on the notion that entrepreneurs discover solutions and engage with their communities over 1 million cups of coffee. So I've got mine. Mine's in a can this morning. It's the extra double shot espresso. Danielle's got hers. We're ready to go. Over 1 million cups of coffee, the Kauffman Foundation developed 1 Million Cups in 2012 as a free program designed to educate, engage, and inspire entrepreneurs around the country. Through the power of volunteers, 1 Million Cups has grown to more than 160 communities across the country. So the premise is, if you go to, you move to a new community, and you want to plug in with the entrepreneurial scene, you can do that. You can go to your 1 Million Cups when it's in person. Again, most of them are virtual, and kind of engage and meet entrepreneurs, like-minded people in the venture ecosystem. As a program of the Kauffman Foundation, 1 Million Cups works with entrepreneurs, empowering them with the tools and resources to break down barriers that stand in the way of starting and growing their business. Today, we have Danielle Dozier of the GSS Group, which is a consultancy group that advocates for fresh fruit and vegetable growers through resource sharing and product development. They're working to address challenges hydroponic growers are facing, and I'm not going to go into any more of that. I'm going to let her tell that. That's her story to tell. Thank you for being with us, Danielle. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. And then I will just jump on in. Hello, again, my name is Danielle Dozier, owner of GSS Group, a horticulture consulting firm that utilizes research and technology to help fresh fruit and vegetable growers increase their profitability potential. I was born and raised in a small town, Gravette, Arkansas. I eventually left for the big city of Fayetteville to pursue a degree in horticulture from the University of Arkansas. It was there that I discovered hydroponics and fell in love with the technology and how it can help feed our growing population. In 2012, some colleagues and I traveled to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in an attempt to start a hydroponic farm. We learned a lot, but in the end, we went back to college. After graduating in 2015, I landed an internship at a local hydroponic lettuce operation where we experimented with ways to maximize production space. This was the moment where I started to ask myself, why do hydroponic farmers not have access to systems that are designed to coexist, and why are they so expensive? The internship was unpaid, so I eventually found a job as a project manager for an investor wanting to build a tomato farm in Texarkana, Texas. Knowing that the job was a 12-month contract, I started to think of the future and this burning desire to create a hydroponic system that could address these hydroponic pain points. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to try. Eventually, I learned about the ASB-TDC, or the Arkansas Small Business Technology Development Center, and met Rebecca Todd. She told me about SBIR, or the Small Business Innovative Research Program, and believed that I could potentially have an innovation worth funding, and she believed in me. I never wrote a grant before, and I'm not an engineer. I wanted to try, and I'm so glad that I did, because 8 months later, I won. Since then, I'm pretty sure that I've made every mistake known to man, and at one point, I considered myself a failure. But through my faith in God and an amazing relationship with the ASB-TDC, I found my purpose again and submitted phase 2 with the idea that I was going to be content if the project was rejected. But they didn't reject me. I won, and I will always give God that victory. Now, I'm working harder than ever to finish what I started. Phase 2 will focus on finalizing design specifications and conducting trial runs on active farms with final stage prototypes, as you can kind of see behind me. I believe, and so does the USDA, that my hydroponic tower design will add value to existing operations and be a more economic alternative to other tower systems. I'm excited about the future of hydroponic technology. As you may know, hydroponics is a method of growing crops without soil. Instead, it uses water-soluble fertilizers and soilless mediums to grow crops. In addition, it is often used in conjunction with controlled environment agriculture facilities or greenhouses that control the availability of light, temperature, and fertilizer resources to optimize growth. Here is the major pain point that I'm trying to address. Though horizontal hydroponic systems like nutrient film technique and deep water culture dominate the market share, the designs inevitably create an immense amount of dead space along the sidewalls and connection bays of commercial operations. Our patent-pending HydroFresh tower system puts dead space to work while also being affordable and easy to use. We're working diligently with our product development company to ensure that the HydroFresh tower system is lightweight, easy to use, and manufactured at a production cost low enough to withstand wholesale revenue streams. Other than a competitive price, our HydroFresh towers have substantially fewer parts to clean and maintain than our direct competitors. Now, I'm not going to introduce everyone on the team today, but you may see some familiar faces. The point here is that with phase 2, I'm finally at a point where I have a small team to help out during this intensive process. With them, I feel more confident than ever before. I wanted to share with you a small part of our design process. We currently use 3D printers to test prototypes and use them to answer design and customer questions. If you would like a HydroFresh home system, contact us after the presentation. All proceeds are being used to raise the funding needed to purchase a research greenhouse. We've asked help from the AEDC to break ground on a greenhouse facility to complete necessary technology validation tests. Farmers are risk averse. They will not commit to new technology without seeing convincing data. Having our own facility will allow us to answer important questions set to convince commercial growers to adopt our new technology. For example, we would like to grow multiple varieties of fresh vegetables like romaine lettuce, basil, bok choy, Chinese broccoli, arugula, and strawberries to understand growth trends. Because we are claiming that our system integrates well with existing production setups, our team needs to also simulate multiple growth scenarios and collect information on integration techniques. And that's all I have for you guys today. Any questions?
Danielle. So if you're watching, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube Live, go ahead and drop a comment or your question in the comment section of the feed, and we'll read them out loud to Danielle because there's kind of like a few second delay. It takes kind of a second for them to see what we're saying right now. So in the meantime, well, it looks like we have a question from Katie already. What's your plan after phase 2?
Yes, so our plan after phase 2 is to launch the product officially. We have our new website. I think it should launch this week, gssgroupllc.org. And eventually we'll have these products for sale. During phase 2, especially for USDA, you're not allowed to sell these products or this prototype until after the project completes. And so we're holding off until fall of next year.
Awesome. And Morgan asked, could this be for home or residential use?
Yes. So the one that we're offering right now is the one that you see behind me here. Right now we're experimenting with basil and bok choy and kale. So that's really exciting. And yes, these are home systems. So we call it our HydroFresh home or bucket system. It's everything that you need in a 5-gallon bucket, and it just goes directly to you. We also have suggestions on what to purchase, like the TDS meter and additional light, nutrients. All of that comes in an instruction manual for those that are interested. And these are 3D printed, and so they're still prototypes. So
for someone who is interested in going that route and doing that, What's the initial investment, I guess? In addition to that, what other things might they need to get to have like a successful system?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we're selling these for $100. And again, all proceeds are going directly into getting a research facility because we really need
Awesome.
one. But what we would suggest is you need a pH and EC meter or a TDS meter. You will also need your nutrients. You'll need seeds, Oasis cubes, and we also recommend getting a supplemental light if you don't have a sunny location.
Awesome. Katie asked, who's your customer?
Yeah, so our customer is why I designed this product is I believe our customer is existing commercial hydroponic producers that are using horizontal hydroponic systems. So anything that's just growing on a 2D plane. And if you have a commercial operation, they're generally going to be gutter connected style greenhouses. So you'll have multiple greenhouses connected to each other, and those sidewalls are anywhere between 8 foot and 12 foot tall. So if you're growing just horizontally, you have all of this space in between the gutters and on the sidewalls, and they're not putting it to work. And so what the main goal is to develop this system in such a way that it can coexist with those systems and integrate well into that dead space on the sidewalls and connection bays. And if done properly, we believe that we can expand an existing commercial operations production by up to 30%.
Awesome. And I echo Morgan's next questions. How can we go about getting one right now?
Yeah, so if you want to get one, we're actually we're selling these small prototypes. Again, they are prototypes, so we would love feedback on that. They're not a final product, but it's just something that we're doing ground roots to continue the research. And then as you can see behind us, these are our first round of prototypes. We're working with Design First Canada. And so this is what the final product will end up looking like. And you just pop these out and pop them in.
Awesome. And they come with instructions?
These final systems will when they're ready for purchase, but what we have right now is a prototype package, and those are going out directly to existing hydroponic farmers. And so if there are any hydroponic farmers out there that are interested in expanding their space with this, please get with us because we're giving these away for free. Just to get their feedback and to conduct trial run data. So if you know, or if you are a hydroponic farmer, that would be so great. We'd love to talk with you. If you're a home user or an enthusiast that just wants one of these systems, we're getting rid of, well, not getting rid of, we're selling these prototypes, 3D printed systems. As you can see, our micro manufacturing facility behind us, we have about 7 printers pumping these guys out.
That's awesome. And Katie has another question. She said, what is your biggest need to grow your company?
I think the biggest need right now, and something that I'm super unfamiliar with, but I'm going to have to learn again the hard way, but that's how I think I learned best, is marketing and getting the word out, because I've just been persevering and doing this project by myself for so long that I didn't really care what anyone else thought. I just wanted to see it through to the end. But now I'm at the point where, I need to consider branding. I need to consider getting this product out there so people can see it, and also realizing that there are so many people that do want to see what I'm doing and that are interested. And so just getting out of that headspace of, the mad scientist huddled in a corner, like, don't look at me, I'm just doing my thing. But so that's my big learning curve is allowing myself to share this with people and to get out there. So that's the biggest thing. And then of course, that research facility, we need it bad.
And you mentioned, looking for hydroponic farmers to partner with. Have you reached out to any locally that you've to work with or strike up a deal with or to test out the products? I know there's some in Springdale that just come to mind that have presented at Million Cups before.
Yes, and so we are really excited about tabletop greens. in Decatur, Arkansas. We had a visit with them just last week, and he's very excited. He's also, you might see a picture on our Instagram page where we were measuring out the systems, making sure that it would fit in his existing dead space. So that's a really great farm. And then we have farms that have partnered out of Texas as well. It's a really big state, and so there's a lot of hydroponic farmers there. And we're hopefully getting some more farms in Tennessee. And so we're interested in also even Iowa. So we have quite a few farms from different states and all over the place. And yes, I've heard of Vet Veggies, and we've talked with them, and they're a great team, great company. But the thing with our product is that we wouldn't integrate that well with containers. We're looking for the hydroponic users that are using greenhouses.
Makes sense. And have y'all thought about partnering with beyond the farmers and home enthusiasts, potentially chefs or restaurants that are looking to add maybe some sort of fresh lettuce type of setup in their restaurants or wherever they're at?
Yes, and I think that's a great market opportunity. But for the farms or for our project right now, because it is still considered research, and I know that restaurants, it's just really high pace. And so I've been a little hesitant to reach out, because then I would want their feedback. This would be a risk because it is still in prototype phase. And so before we offered it to that addressable market, I'd want it to be a fully researched and completed product, unless there was a restaurant out there that was willing to take the risk and to understand that we are in research mode right now. And if they're willing to do that, then by all means, absolutely, that would be great. But we just, I have an issue with assuming. I just assumed that the restaurants would be, too busy and risk averse for something like this right now.
Makes sense. We have any more questions from our viewing audience? Is there anything else you would like to impart with us, Danielle?
I think the big thing that I've learned through this entire process is that A, you're not alone. And B, if you consider yourself unqualified, it's okay. I feel unqualified almost every day. But it's just that little burning desire to try and to keep going. Don't try to push the door open if it's trying to close on you, but at the same time, keep your options open and still continue on until life just stops it for you. And I think I've lived that way for a while, and it seems to just continue to be so fruitful and lovely. And so it makes me want to keep trying, even if I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
It's great advice. And so we like to end with one question that we ask every guest, and that is, what can we as a community do for you, Danielle?
You guys have been so great with support when I post on Facebook or on any kind of social media. I like to do little videos sometimes about how I'm feeling and how the project is going, and I get immense support. And if the community really wants to support in a monetary way, that it would be to consider getting one of these hydroponic bucket systems and giving us feedback on that. That is really helpful. And then of course, just listening and being there. It's been really great. I'm so thankful to be in Northwest Arkansas. This is it's a business hub, I think, and I don't think I could have thrived anywhere else except here.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing the progress. I'm probably going to get in touch with you about getting one of those bad boys, because I'm very interested, and looks like Morgan is too. Want to thank everybody that's joined us this morning, watching from wherever you are. We appreciate it. Also want to give a shout out to Jacob and the Go Rogue X crew, who are behind the scenes running the show and producing the stream today. Making our lives so much easier as we go entirely virtual right now. Hope everybody has a great Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.